Okay, we should be live. I'm actually sitting in Addis's stream right now. I think he's gonna.
I need to wait for him to actually get in.
Yeah.
Listening, right? Yeah.
Okay. So.
Never gonna ask me to not spell something correctly because the signs in Night Harbor already are fairly decent. Or the temporary signs in Night Harbor are a fairly
All
decent
right. So.
representation of
Well, I'm
what
waiting for.
happens when
I will get Unity opening.
am left to my devices. Hold on. Channel. Okay, let's kill that. Okay. I see him there.
Ooh. All right. Hey, Memorize. My week is going well. How's yours?
So let's.
Just getting everything loaded up right now. Coming in hot.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'm not going to do the whole normal spiel just because Sean's stream's going on, but I am going to dump all of my links in there. And also thank you to all my subscribers. You guys rock. Thank you to everyone who followed me today as well.
Hey, Zukin. I was just thinking about it.
Yeah, so I'm going to
Dude,
take us over to Sean's stream. I'm clicking start raid, so we should join in like however many seconds.
I wasn't joking when I just told Pattis that I could easily just sit and watch him do
I will
art.
catch you at my next stream on Monday.
Very good. Very good. Oh, that's us. Okay. Hey, Pattis people. What's up, Pattis people? What's up, Goblin, Chaz, Rev, MMO Pug, Quick Santa. Quick Santa, yeah. Cool. Liz Kimber. I've read that as Liz Biscuit. I don't know. In the actual like Fred Durst voice. Hello, Liz Kimber. Seeking the story. What's up? What's up, Jen? Uncle Jay. MMO Pug. Thank you for 6 months. Appreciate the support. What's up, Borland? Hello, everybody. Oh, getting Unity loaded up. Where am I? What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was setting up that little secret area for the art, for the character art. Hey, Pattis, enjoy your lunch, buddy. Liz Kimber said, "Hey, you want to call me Biscuit as the brick cookies are fab? I don't mind." Well, there we go. It was Kismet. I don't know that I'll remember Biscuit. I don't know. Maybe I'll remember Biscuit. I might actually remember Biscuit. Yeah. So I got in late. I basically just got to my PC after dinner and some stuff. Because I got like on stream nights, I basically have a hour and a half in the morning that I can see Jasmine, and then I've got basically hour and a half, 2 hours evening that I see her. So yeah, I miss Pattis's stuff. I'll definitely want to hop in and watch that VOD just because it looks like he is working on Ekir, which is pretty exciting. Pretty excited for the zone. So I don't know. I'll have to watch VOD and see how much he tells you about the zone and all that. I'm super excited for it. I mean, honestly, I'm super excited for a lot of things. I'm very excited in general, as you can tell by my disposition. But for real, I am. So I was just thinking, because you kept it fairly vague. Okay, then I'm not saying anything else. I shouldn't have even told you the name. Forget it. What have you told him? The name? too much energy on stream. Yeah, I know. I don't want to use it all up. I gotta slowly dole it out over the next couple of hours. So I was thinking, as I was discussing goblin names with Goblin Zukin, it's only going to be fair for us to sit down and continue to work through the some lizard stuff with you. It's only fair, man. You said the name and that they are Ashira. Okay. Uh, okay, you avoided lore. Okay, it sounds like you kind of described how the gameplay and stuff is gonna work, or yeah, like the progression through the areas and stuff. Zukin, we should talk, buddy. We should talk lizard things. What you think about Zukin? Oh, just lizard thing. Just think about lizard thing. Oh man, I didn't even have caffeine before the stream. I just had some BCAAs and creatine. Yum. Just push the zone 2 if I want to look later. Ooh, damn. Now I am excited. I'm pulling the origin. Ollie, I do want to do some leveling. The only problem is what I told you earlier. I can't do it on FNF, friends and family, at risk of disclosing friends and family information. Salacious, I saw your question right as I was leaving to go start up the stream. The question was, yo, except that's not how you asked it to Pattis. Yo, are we going to see forests in the game like a Greater Fate Arc, that sort of claustrophobic and magical? Love that zone. Believe it or not, we've been talking a bit about forests lately. Don't want to spoil too many things for you, but we have been talking about forests. And one of my favorite places, I live in Germany, one of my favorite places to just go visit and go camping. So we've been there a few times now since I moved here. My wife and I like to go to the Black Forest down south. I'm a huge Black Forest fan. And one of the things that I was really just, it strikes me every time, but it really, really struck me as I was hiking down there this last trip. When was that? Fall or spring? Spring. Yeah, I think it was earlier in the year. Anyways, hey Stout Tea, hey Golden Gloves. What's up, Brown Butcher? You get a little tiny shout out in this month's update since you let me use your screenshot. Anyways, let me get some music in the background by logging into game. The Black Forest. One of the things that I was pointing out to Jasmine as we were walking on this one sort of hiking trail we're hitting for a couple of days is it can be super bright and sunny and just, really gorgeous day. And then when you look up the hill, you can only see like 10, 15 meters into the wood line, and it completely blacks out. Like it kills the light. And, I guess that's the name, right? And it's just it's a cool inspiration. So to answer your question, Salacious, we're definitely going to be playing with some forest stuff. It's been a request within a team to do some other biomes sooner rather than later. So the next area we move into is probably going to be that direction. Fortunately, we have a coastline that goes north, and fortunately, up that coastline is a great opportunity for many of these things. Did I bring a... Hey, what's up? What's going on, Bananatron? Thank you for 4 months. And for the cute little thing that you just posted. What is it? A dolphin. Okay. Yeah, so Salacious, the thing that you should... This is a secret area, don't even look over here. The thing that you should like think about too is, because you use the example of Kithakor, right? Not Kithakor, Greater Fate Arc. So those giant trees It's like, and this is something we've been talking about. It's like, imagine what it would look like if you're approaching there from like a shoreline or something. Like just this wall of giant trees that immediately just sort of, it's darkness in there. It's, you're looking up and it's like nice outside and the sunlight's coming in here. Let me find you a picture. Black forest and something like that. Let's see if we can find a thing, right? No, that's absolutely not what I wanted. Just fucking freaking. Like I mean, you can kind of see here, but it's there are views that are better. Dude, but it really looks like this it's only it's prettier in real life. Like it's crazier in real life. Like walking around in the Black Forest in like the mornings and different temperatures, it's, oh man, it's so amazing. But anyways, there are these like tree lines where, and it looks small, right? Like this kind of looks small, but if you're there and looking at it, you'd see how big some of these trees are. When you're just kind of like walking around, anywhere where there's trees, the light just disappears. Right? That's not a good picture either. It's just it's the coolest thing, right? Like it can be very pretty outside, and then boom, you just the density, right? So it's that idea, because there's definitely going to be some there are going to be some interesting themes, and there's some stuff going on with the wood elf. Here we go, like this. There's some stuff going on with the wood elves we haven't disclosed yet, and I think it'll just be like, all right. So imagine you're here, like this is our point of view, right? Like, all right, so we're here and it's sunny and we're on a shoreline, and here's an inn on the shoreline, and maybe it's some humans have set up a little inn in this little fishing village or whatever. And then you're looking up and you just see forest, and it's like in just darkness. And then you get in and it's super magical. How about that? So Brown Butcher, when we're hiking, often we will have a lantern and lantern fuel with us, or we'll have torches. We like to carry torches when we're hiking. Not just regular magical, super magical Zukin. Yeah, I mean, torches is good. Somebody made a suggestion like, hey, if I got a torch, could I add one of my bandages to it to keep it going? And makes sense. That's what happens whenever we get lost in the Black Forest. Like, we'll have a torch, but if it starts to run low, it'll be usually my progression in keeping the torches going. It's undies. It's the bottom half of the t-shirt. I'll do like a little belly shirt for a bit. I'll just cut it off so I still got a little something. I don't get chafed. So it'll be undies, belly shirt. If things are getting really sketchy, then either pants leg or a bit of sleeve. Again, can't immediately go to the sock, just because you don't want your feet. You need your feet to get out of the Black Forest. You don't want to get blisters and like foot rot of some sort, because super magical. So yeah, you're gonna see Sean's name in the news for burning down Black Forest. Black Forest is very damp. You're not gonna burn down a Black Forest. It's not gonna happen. Listen to me now and hear me later. You're not gonna do it. Burn the beard hair. No, I'll do a sock before that. My wife has never seen me without a beard. If she ever saw me without a beard, I'd be moving on to wife number 5. You need at least one sock for when things get real desperate. Yeah, so I mean, if you do it right, you can do like the Red Hot Chili Peppers Orcs Knocker. You can basically you can march out of the forest wearing only one sock, having expended all of the rest of your clothes as torch fuel. there's a roller coaster at Busch Gardens inspired by the Black Forest called Verbolten. Is it Verboten or Verbolten? Verbolten. Verbolten makes me think of Michael Bolton, and I'm thinking Bolton because of America. Yeah, fair enough. Can never argue with that. Oh man, I'm not flying very fast, am I? When is the next beta test of this game? We have not had a single beta test of this game, so next is not the correct modifier. When is a future beta test? And that I can't tell you. That's a long time in the future. But there may be a test at some point in the future. Not too horribly distant. Have you figured out what can cause this game to not work for people? Ollie, have we figured out what would cause the game to not work for people? Did we get much of that kind of data? Like, in all seriousness? Foot rot sounds like a name you might find in a forest like that. It's true. Times that 6 a.m. Also, how's the battle against lag? The battle against lag was pretty good. It was very cool to see everyone in game in general. Yeah, Seek and Destroy. It was super cool. Super is the modifier I'm using for everything tonight, Zukin. You're not allowed to pick on me, Zukin. Zukin's streams are really fun, so he's no longer allowed to pick on me. It'd be different. It'd be different if his stream sucked. Then he could pick on me, because then he's punching up. But he's funnier than I am, so if he picks on me, he's punching down. And that is not allowed in 2023, sir. Black Forest is known for spreading foot rot disease, which slows movement down if not cured. I don't know that that is true. I cannot endorse that. I cannot endorse that. I have to say that just in case anybody from the Black Forest, like Chamber of Commerce, is watching the stream. I don't want to be on their bad side. I don't want to not be allowed back into the forest. Close tab. Fabrizio said, it was really rad to be inside game, even for just a few hours. Looking forward to the next test. You know what? I mean, we're so excited about having you folks in. It was so much fun seeing everybody in game and being able to play with folks and all that stuff, that it's a bummer for us as well that we can't just have the game done already. But what we're gonna do. Hey, this is an interesting question for Ollie since he's in here. Ollie, when we're working with volumes and we're working, because that, especially as we start to do more like crazy height differentiation and stuff in outdoor zones, which one is more problematic, as the kids say? Would it be a volume that's really big that dips under the world and comes up, or a volume that doesn't go all the way down to the terrain? Ollie, which one is it? Who's taller, me or Zukin? I don't know. I don't know. None of us have ever met each other in real life, mostly, except for Robert and Gary. You can overlap volumes, but never don't clip terrain. Alright, I'm gonna ask you to restate that, please. But with less negatives. Gross Sax, thank you for the prime sub. You think I'm taller? I'll accept that. Orksnocker said, I missed the test and wasn't aware this was in development until mentioned by the EQ emulator I play on play a bit on. Well, I'm glad people are talking about it. I'm glad you found us. Zukin said I'm not of exceptional height, which is why I gotta make up for it with jokes. Yeah, I don't know that I'm exceptional in height, but sounds like I'm doing all right. Don't unclip the non-flat portion. Holy shit, Ollie. Please restate that one more time. Interest was peaked because TDE was mentioned? Were you in TDE? Oh, wait. Were you... I haven't popped over to the Discord in a while, but I thought I saw something like pop up in my notifications. I'm in the TDE Discord. Carados, you are a dwarf, right? Was Carados a dwarf? Am I wrong? Now I'm going to feel bad if Carados wasn't a dwarf. And if I remember that, then I'm going to really actually be kind of weirded out. I should be wrong. Dwarf Paladin, I was picturing you. Holy shit. Yeah, I know who you... Oh, I mean, I played with you. Dang, man. That's pretty cool. Lugosi, you play on a TDE server as well? Were you in TDE? On 7th? Yeah, it's been a couple decades. That's really weird, man. You said Carados, and I was like... Alright, dwarf. I just pictured dwarf and like plate. What is TDE? TDE is the Dark Exile. That was the guild that I was in on 7th Hammer. I came in a bit late. Oh, cool. Okay, Lugosi. Yeah, I came in a bit late. You know, I came in... Kunarkish. No, I mean, Velius-ish. Velius-ish, not Kunarkish. But because I was actually my character is from Inneruk, but then when I became Turnip, thank you for 30, I can't even say it. 33 30. What was that sound I almost made? Thank you for 30 months, Turnip Gin. And before anybody asked, yes, there is actual gin made out of turnips. No, I haven't had any yet, but it should probably be on my like Christmas wish list. Yeah, so I started on Inneruk, and then I got a little sneaky transfer over when I was a GM to be able to play with Steve Burke. Turnip gin sounds not that so good. I disagree. I bet it's fantastic. I like turnips and gin. So Ollie, don't unclip the non-flat portion. Please clip the ground. Whatever does not clip the ground won't spawn. Okay, so I will clip the ground then. I'm gonna pull this down. Well, actually, I'll just kind of center it a bit and just make it taller. 50? Pity. All right, so like this, Ollie, is good. You're married to Angel still. What does she play? Cleric? Dark Elf Cleric. If for some reason I was picturing if she wasn't a Dark Elf, then she had the mask. Yeah, that's super weird. Like none of you TDE guys will remember my character. It was my girlfriend and I both played I can't remember shit else. Like people come in here and ask me stuff about EverQuest and all sorts of things all the time. I can't remember the basics. I still like anytime we're even playing on like P99 or whatever, I'm like, yeah, you guys ask me important stuff. I don't remember anything ever, dude. It's the worst, but I don't know, like spending 14, 20 hours a day every weekend day staring at you guys probably just made it sink into my brain in a different way. Yeah, the people in the guild probably don't remember. Oh, hey, Manfredo. Probably don't remember me at all because I was super scrubby. My girlfriend at the time like sat right next to me and played. She worked at Sony as well. Probably people might remember her a little bit better because she was, you know, a gnome rogue and had like a more interesting name, whereas I was a super scrub half-elf warrior of all damn things. But I was always that guy, was like late to the raids, coming in, getting killed on my way. You know, it's like, oh, how far out are you? I'm like, oh, I'm dead. All right, we'll send somebody to get you. And oh, because you remember, because you're one of two people that knew the secret why we were in the guild. Yeah, because people in the guild be like, why the F is this dude? Why is he with us right now? Like, where did he come from? Because the guild really had its shit together and just kind of dominated the server. Ranadin was amazing. Like, he really knew how to do server politics and instigate shit and steal people and ensure that we, you know, we're just on point. So yeah, it was basically like I was someone's kid brother. Yeah. You were a Sony game tester in the Bay Area at the time? All right. Oh man, now I'm spaced on his name. He was a wizard, but I thought he was a human wizard with a T. Anyways, he worked in LA, like doing, he was a technical director on animated films. He was the one that got our name in Powerpuff Girls, the TDE. Was in the Powerpuff Girls movie on the sign of the bus. Yeah. Tron. Yeah, Tron. So we went up and like actually spent a day with him. It's in Rugrats too. I didn't realize that. He showed us his demo reel and like showed us where it was, and the wild thornberries. Dude, he was amazing. He was such an interesting guy to hang out with. And then I actually got to meet Rana at the Seattle Fan Fair, and that was amazing. Why is nothing pathing? That is what I'm looking at right now, Ollie. So let me... We got... Everything looks set up pretty normal. From position, save... let's reload the zone. Half-elf warrior. Jesus, Alacia said. Listen, man, I started playing EQ for the RP. I didn't know about optimal builds. Never got to meet Rana in person, someone who shaped my world for a few years. So, but I mean, you kind of know his background and stuff, right? Like, you know who he was in real life. Yay, pathing. Yeah, I think it's related to the volume, so I was just gonna fix that, Ollie. Hooray, pathing. Nimitz said, the greatest main tanks I've ever played with and the best guilds were never optimal tank races. That's probably true, but I was also a pretty shit warrior, so I'm just gonna be honest with you. And it wasn't the gear's fault. So Rana's story was he was super big into lineage in Korea. So he's Korean. And he got in trouble because of the gangs that would get in, like, lineage gangs would get in fights. Yeah, that's true. Ayud was a half elf warrior, and he was awesome. Wasn't he like he was main tank? Wasn't he like the warrior officer? And I mean, Bahia was the spiritual second in command, but anyway, so Rana, I guess, got in some trouble, and like one of his friends got like stabbed in a PC bong gang lineage gang fight or whatever. And so his this is the story he told me, at least. And so his parents sent him to the U.S. to go to school, and instead of actually attending class in college, he just played EverQuest all day, and his parents kept sending him money, and then he would spend money on us. Like, I don't know if you remembered or what, but I remember he bought a couple people video cards. He bought my ex-girlfriend, like, he bought her like a crazy like kitty. It looked like a Hello Kitty style like PC case and some other stuff. It was just like, anyway. So Ranadin was like the most feared Shadow Knight, and he's the actual best of the best Shadow Knight, right? Like, game wide Shadow Knight winner, representing little old 7th Hammer scrub server. And he's this imposing human Shadow Knight that's just like rules the server with iron fist. Anyway, so we're at Seattle Fanfare, and he tells me when he's going to get there or whatever, and he comes up and he comes like just kind of walking, already tell he's already had some drinks, because whenever he played, he was always drinking. So he's like falling asleep, like while pulling the entirety of like Fungus Grove or whatever. And dude, Delta Loco said, I just joined the stream to hear he never went to class in college because he just played EverQuest all day. And I'm trying to figure out how you were talking about before I got here. Exactly. I got the feeling a few people can raise their hands. Yeah, so Rana walks up, and I see this tiny Korean kid with glasses and a sweater vest and a bottle of Jack Daniels that he brought for us. And oh man, it wound up being such a fun night hanging out with him. If I had to guess, it was probably a really shitty morning the next day, but it was a fun night. Is anything else not passing? He almost burned his apartment down a couple times, forgetting he was making food. I could easily see that happening. That was just that one volume that was doing it. Are the others? Kill that guy next to you. You may drop a cracked staff, it looks like. I can't do it until that guy puts PvP in. Alright, so these need to go down as well, right, Ali? Word. We'll get her fixed. We'll get her done. Is there a volume over here? It looks like there is. Oh, there's a ginormous volume. Volume number 2, you are huge. And let's elevate you. Oh. Let's not elevate you. Want to see the secret PvP mode? Or are you just gonna /kill me? You and Gary have been working on it? What? Yeah. Show it. That's exciting. I gotta join the party first. Did you actually cast something or just slash kill me? Ollie. Explain yourself, Ollie. What did you do? See, when you were binding, at first I was like, that's cool. He's binding himself so that he doesn't have to like zone back here in case he dies, and that makes a lot of sense. And then you're binding me, and I'm like, that's not. I don't know what to think about that. Oh, now he camps. Mm-hmm. He's gone. He's gone. That's not good behavior. Yeah, he is a grief for Terran. Not very, yeah, not very sporting at all. Nine. I am a bad apple. I am a bad. Why did I read the whole thing in German accent? Nein. Ich bin ein böser Apfel. That's not what I wanted to do. That's not it at all. Are you guys doing another stress test? Nimitz, no. Ollie's just stressing me out. Ollie's testing my last nerve. Is that a non? Does anybody outside of that? Does anybody outside the South actually say that? Son, you are working on my last nerve. Last one. I am serious. You are working it. He's testing his limit. That's not very fair. Ollie's also punching down. He's the tech genius. I'm just the mascot. Damn it, Bobby. Yeah, I can't do any of those voices, but I did live in the South for a long time. Now, Ollie's screwing with me even more. He said Apfelstrudel. You know how hard it is to live in Germany and not eat pastries like every single day, 2 or 3 times a day? I did not have this problem in Sweden because Sweden's pastries, not that good. Nothing special. But Germany, oh my god. Kills me. Fabrizio said, my favorite track in the background, Glass Flat. Yeah, so this is not the actual zone to Glass Flats though. Glass Flats are the next zone over, but we're rocking that music in here. Which is great because it is a great song. Why would I not? Ollie said, eat the pastries several times a day. Taran or Taron? I didn't realize that I didn't thank you for the follow 14 minutes ago. Thank you. So I'm finally going to check out this one Jiu-Jitsu place a couple kilometers from here tomorrow and see if it's any good. If it winds up being good, if I enjoy it, then I start training a couple times a week, then I'll be able to hit the pastries, I think. Then I think it'll be all right. But like me sitting here for 10 hours a day, not good with pastry. It's not the move for me. What's in the tiny hut down there? It's very much placeholder. Have I ever trained? Yep, I trained I've trained for a while when I was in Texas. I trained in Austin, Texas. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Because there's a fair bit of that there. I had a really great coach. Been doing BJJ almost a year now? Right on. Nice. Yep. I started when I was like 32 or 33. And it was really healthy. It was a really good idea. I started with Muay Thai, and then after about 8 or 9 months of Muay Thai, the Muay Thai coach, who was a really rad kid, wound up quitting / getting fired. Because we worked at he worked at this gym that was like LA Boxing or something, and it was kind of on the edge of the suburbs. And so we had this really early morning Muay Thai class. It was like 3 days a week, and we'd have like random soccer moms and other people come in, and the Muay Thai coach was a younger guy named Sammy, but he had learned Muay Thai from like legit, hardcore sort of Muay Thai coaches. So he treated us that way, and it was just like, it was brutal. And so these people, nobody would come back. It was like the same 5 dudes in there every single week. And we'd get somebody, they'd come in and it'd be like, welcome to your first day of Muay Thai. And they're thinking, oh man, this is going to be like cardio kickboxing or something. And then we'd do a brutal like warm up. And so anybody that was like the aspiring young MMA guy or whatever would do the same thing we all did, which is like either run out the back door or run into the parking lot and puke halfway through to warm up. And then, but like the people that would come in from, that are like, oh, cardio kickboxing, they wouldn't push themselves as hard, so they would make it through to warm up. Oh, this is nice. And then it'd be like, oh, we're gonna just do pad work or bag work or whatever. All right, this is kind of cool. Pow. And then it'd be like, all right, last 20 minutes sparring. every single day that you're in there sparring. Bam, bam. Get the Thai plum in, sweep the legs, Johnny, boom, on the ground. And they would never come back. Nobody ever came back. So he was eventually fired. But it was such a rad class. It was so fun. Learned a lot. And then because he got fired, I had only ever seen jiu-jitsu in real life once. It was when this 130-pound guy came in to our Muay Thai class, and Sammy had us take turns wrestling him instead of getting a rest break. And this little tiny dude just choked the shit out of us repeatedly in 1 minute. And it was just like, in 1 minute he was like submitting us several times, and we're like, what is this witchcraft? Oh my god, that's crazy. And so that kind of gave me the bug. And then when Sammy was quit / fired, then a guy named Jason, who is a purple belt under my eventual coach, was like, hey, you want to do jujitsu? And we're like, yeah, sure, we'll do that instead. And train with Jason for a bit. And then he's like, this gym sucks. Let's go over to my coach's gym. And that's when I started training with Sean Cooper. And I did that for years and years and years. And he's a super great guy. But and then Sean Cooper's coach is, well, he started under a local dude, William Vandry, but then he is now like where that gym was rolled up under Kleber Luciano, who is Cyborg's jiu-jitsu coach, and back in the day he was Tito Ortiz's jiu-jitsu coach and stuff. So. Hey, Shmonite. The rest of you that are in here just to talk about like Eminem and MMOs and stuff like that, you probably like stop talking about jiu-jitsu. We don't give a shit. But sorry you're in here. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. This isn't just an Eminem stream, yo. This is my stream that just happens to occasionally do some Eminem stuff. So there. If you want a good Eminem stream, I know of several other streamers you should follow instead. Here, let me give you the links. Oh, I gotta add VGFX to it as well. Is my bot not working? Bot, are you activated? Oh, is that? I think it's the time of the month where I've got to like reconnect it. Son of a. Connect. Yes, connect. Oh, you need to generate a new thing. All right, let me generate a new token. Oh, but they've actually made this really easy. Thank you, bot. You made this really easy to do. So I'll stop complaining. All right, that's updated. Twitch stream, generate token. Do that as well. We should be good. So let me try the button again in a second. Connect. Cool. Connect. Yes. Cool. Now let me hit the button again. And then I'll catch up with chat. All right, follow. All right, so are you in Germany? Lost track of you before you were in Texas. Or lost track of you. Were you in Texas working on a sweater? No, I got recruited out to go to the SOE Austin studio by the former executive producer of EQ2 because we knew each other. Just from, he was an EQ fan, and then we chatted a bunch about EQ2 and stuff. So I refused to join that team. And then when he took over SOE Austin, which was Star Wars Galaxies, they were also in the process of spinning up DC Universe Online. And so he recruited me to be the content lead for DC Universe Online. Terran. Okay. Well, the way I pronounce Terran, like from StarCraft, is Terran. So I'm assuming that's correct. Nimitz said, just attended a seminar taught by a guy who was like 6'6", 250 pounds. Just fought 16 matches, won 13 by submission, and didn't have a single point scored against him in the entire tournament. Yeah, he sounds like a beast. This Kimber said, I got to black belt in karate. Don't mind hearing about other things. Right on, Biscuit. Fabrizio said, something I never like in modern MMOs is instancing. I think a lot of people probably agree with you on that. Zoidberg, what's up? Zoidberg says, "Sup, Sean? I too know what it's like to get hooked into a sport. Dropped 650 on new skates. Skates like roller skates, or skates like roller blades, or skates like ice skates, I guess, would be another option. My wife is a former roller derby monster. So when I lived in when we lived in Stockholm, when she moved out there and joined me, that's why I said I and not we. There are some skate parks there, and she would take her roller skates, and I would take my skateboard. DeCrow said, "Notice your profile says you're lead game designer on several iconic EQ expansions. Do you have an expansion you're most proud of?" I do, but a lot of people argue with me about whether or not I should be proud of it. So I'm super proud of Planes of Power just because that was our first sort of expansion as a new crew, and it wound up being really fun and really cool. The instancing debate that's going on right now is an interesting one, because instancing, like, Lost Dungeons of Norath wound up being a really cool expansion because we just had this idea, having seen Anarchy Online's little mission instances, and then thinking about like what we could do with raids and group content and do dungeon crawls and all this other shit, like utilizing instancing in that instant wound up being pretty cool. So it just seemed like at the time it was like, holy shit, look at look what we're doing. And so we even at that point, a lot of, for as much as we got, kudos for making a lot of cash and being kind of the number one MMO at the time until WoW took over, there wasn't a lot of attention paid to EQ, right? Like, it's like, oh, it's that old game. And so the fact that we were able to get like a award for, best MMO thing from the interactive Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences that year, and all this other shit, like Lost Dungeons just felt like a really cool expansion. The fact that we could do Legacy of Akesha in 4 months, that was pretty cool. So I don't know. I mean, I was really happy with all of it. The stuff I worked on, I'm super happy with, but nothing really compared to the fact of like being really in love with a game and then actually being able to like step in and play it. That was the biggest deal. Like, claiming a specific edition or whatever wasn't that big a deal. Hey, Forever Mash. Yeah, on the whole playtest thing, gotta say, without a doubt, yeah, it was just a huge amount of fun. Thank you everybody for being a part of the stress test that was. It was so much fun for us. It's gonna be so exciting to get the game to a point where you guys can get in and just actually play all the time. Horse Knocker said, very cool. I knew you were in Austin. You were one of the last people left on my ICQ account I never used, but to have installed. Yeah, I mean, if I could go back and just keep in better contact with the TDE folks, I would have. Like, it was a good crew. It was weird because I always felt a little bit like an outsider because of how I got in the guild and stuff. So, do snakes kick? Yep, they do. They even have an animation for it. DeCrow? Cool, thank you for that. Hey, Esam, what's up, buddy? Yeah, so definitely be thinking about battle plan for this zone coming up, but I wanted to look at a couple things. Maybe increase elevation here. They'll have to make sense with the other stuff. Do we have a time scale in mind for having an early release 24/7 online game? No, we're not gonna throw any like timing ideas out there just because that never works out very well. So, but we're just gonna be pretty focused on hammering through the proof of concept this year and kind of see what happens. Mortis asks, is this another newbie zone? So this is another zone. This is outside the newbie zone. So if you were playing in the stress test here, let's go. Essentially, this is kind of like Shaded Dunes is for the other newbie zone, like a next area to go to. It's very placeholder. But this Sungreet Strand runs along the river. So we got a river that runs north-south here on this side of the city. So if oh no. If you were in the newbie yard over here where the wizard spire and stuff is, which don't even have the facade set up in this zone, then you'll kind of know what it is here. Zone Night Harbor. Yeah, or Snocker. That sort of thing. Though, I mean, with our zones, there's random... Yeah, BitSnap. I think that's accurate. You know, that's a fair thing to say. With our zones, you'll find that... this error is funny. You're pushing more GUI clips than you are popping. Make sure they are balanced. What's popping GUI clips? Yeah, so this is the first newbie zone we set up, and this is on the west side of town, and that's facing Shaded Dunes, right? And you know that from having that over there. Oh, zoning wall zone panel, is that what it is? Okay. SSJ, thank you. So this is the newbie zone for half the folks. This Kimber said, I love that error, especially as it accuses you, the developer, like you did it when none of the code is yours. Fair point. So this is this side, and it goes that way. Somebody just went that way. You just went that way. Now on the other side of town is another newbie zone, or newbie yard. Sorry, not zone, newbie yard. And then that faces the zone that we were just in. So ignores the frame rate. I blame the editor. It comes and goes. Actually, shortcut. We'll just go through here. Shortcut. People in the playtest were like, what? I didn't know that shortcut existed. How dare you. So this is the other newbie zone. Yard. Shit. And this is over where the, you know, Sage side is. We got the Wizard Spire. This is an easy sort of point of reference. And if we go this way, what the hell just hit me? This skeleton finally caught up with me. Get away. Zoidberg, you came in late. We were talking about trees earlier. You gotta watch the first 15 minutes of the VOD and you'll see all sorts of tree discussion. You won't even believe your ears. DeCrow asked, will all races start in this town on release, or will each race have its own starting town? Over time, over the millennia, as we work on the game, we'll get more and more racial cities in. Yeah, the game is, so our primary audience, our primary market is old farts. You're correct. And then secondary markets are people that like old fart games. So, I mean, this is a newbie yard, but like, if you go into this cave, bad things will happen to you if you're a newbie. So, you know, we try to keep it mixed up. Liz Biscuits, I did not, you may be part of our secondary market. I didn't say you're an old fart. I said our primary market, old farts. And then we also have people that are just like into old farty stuff. I think the Minecraft kids, when they get tired of the Minecraft or the Roblox and they're looking for something unique and a little challenging and retro, they could check it out. The younger folks who are now, you know, part of the 40 million people that are playing Dungeons and Dragons, they may go, hey, I wonder if there's something that's got a little Dungeons and Dragons feel. They might check out this, right? That's kind of how I found EverQuest. You're 31 now? Are you an old fart? No. You're a spring chicken. SSJ said, when you are developing the game, does the team give much weight on the age range target audience you want the product to appeal to, or is it just based on building a great MMO for all ages? I think they're you know, if we're being honest, there's consideration about, all right, if we want to build kind of our initial core audience, who do we appeal to, right? And then what are the secondary and tertiary sort of audiences that we may appeal to? And we balance it like that. We're definitely not trying to make a game for everybody. So, and we've been clear about that on the onset, from the onset, so. Ollie said, speak for yourself. My fart may be old, but I'm spry as a twig. My fart's even older, and I'm probably sprier, so I don't want to hear it, Ollie. Old fart market was decided before any development. Yeah, we were discussing this game a fair amount before we started working on it. Zoe said, I'm 33 and have had shingles. I classify myself as an old fart. I had, it's funny, I had shingles when I was in my early 30s as well, because the project I was on was so stressful. 3 of us got shingles, and I think we were all that age range or younger. But my immune system was just wrecked. I was so like worn out all the time. Bitsnap says, I used to love high-end areas located primarily in newbie areas like that cave, ways to get tons of buffs. It's also a way to get yourself in trouble, which is always fun. Yeah, Ollie, you didn't know about the cave? Here, let me invulnerable aggro off. It's very placeholder. You hear an ominous rhythmic chanting from within the cave. Oh no. Oh no, guys. Let's not go in there. If you play this game, you're going to get shingles? No. Well, you might. I don't know. I can't give you medical advice. Cast magic missile into the darkness. Are there girls there? I remember zones in EQ that you didn't go to, bad designs and no rewards. Yeah, that was a challenge, and we never had a ton of time to go back and rework a lot of those, unfortunately. Wizard Ragan said, I'm 27 and fell in love with P99, trying it my first time last year. Now I'm waiting on Eminem. Right on. That's the kind of story we like to hear. Anytime I meet somebody that's like in their 20s on P99, I get so excited for us. Just in general, actually, but also for us. I like the tree puns, you guys. Good job. Wizard said, people that want this game are in all age groups, even if they don't know it. Let's hope so. Salacious asks, question, will there be any focus on making zones that are not designed for leveling, grinding, and they're due to lore and just being interesting? I feel like in EQ, there are a lot of areas that were not perfectly designed because no one had done it before, but it ended up being charming, mysterious, and immersive because you never know what to expect. Yeah, and so there's a certain amount of like that jank that we've talked about since day one. Like, how do we build that into our process? Sometimes it's good to put shit in game just because it seems interesting, but we don't know what it's going to be used for yet. And yeah, a lot of attention is being paid to just having it be an interesting place, even if it's a place you're just passing through or whatever. The Fade said, I had shingles last year. One of the most painful things I've gone through. I got really lucky with mine, I think. Really bad headaches and like, you know, the whole like things crusting up and bumping up and stuff. I think I have retained a little bit of nerve damage in sort of the nerve that I was going down, but overall it wasn't horrible. SSJ asks, what's the best way for a guy working in supply chain project management to make his way into the gaming development industry? What makes you want to hire a guy or a girl like that? It depends on like what you mean by supply chain management and sort of what skills you've developed there. If you've got certain skills that transfer over directly into software development via kind of a project management angle, you know, that may be something that you can look and make happen. Nunchuck skills, bow staff skills. But the thing that I've recommended to folks that were outside of like game development but had some potentially related skills in terms of like project management or product ownership, product management, things like that, because that's usually where I've seen like the overlap, is to look for companies, and I've talked to people, you know, basically offline a bit about this as well, who have followed up. But essentially you can look for first of all, you got to get your LinkedIn in order, you got to get your CV updated, and then you got to do a fair amount of time just kind of like scoping out what company you think you're interested in. My recommendation for people that do have like applicable skills, but they're coming from an outside industry, but looking to get in like as a product manager, product owner, project manager, etc., is look for a small to mid-sized company that's growing pretty quickly. And so the thing that happens with some of these companies when they're going from like being 50 or 60 people to growing to 70 or 80 people, they wind up hiring a fair amount of kind of that mid-layer management, right? Because all of a sudden they're spinning up multiple they're spinning up multiple, you know, cross-functional teams, or they've got a department that's growing or whatever. And if you especially what I've noticed in Europe, I don't know what it's like in the US at the moment, but in Europe what I found is um there'll be a number of like management teams that will look at people that are maybe a little bit older, got life experience, and have experience in what's like, and this is going to sound super shitty, but it's just the way that I've heard managers talk about video games since I got in, you know, 20 some years ago. Oh, that person worked at a real company, or a, you know, like a real software company. And then it'll be like, oh, you know, they're willing to look a little bit because things are still so crazy in game development always, that they might look at that and go, yeah, okay, well, you could potentially come in as like a project manager. If you don't have any skills that overlap, I would say you've got to develop the skills and kind of really identify what you want to do within the industry. You know, is it, hey, you may be a supply chain manager today, but your passion is in, you know, character art, and or your passion's in game design or something like that. These days you can develop those skills without going to school for free. YouTube exists, Unity, Unreal, you know, you can get those things. And then you can poke around and find like small projects that people are spinning up. So that's about all I can tell you without knowing like the specifics. Zukin says, how big a part does LinkedIn play, you think? In my experience, it's a, I would say it's such an easy thing for people to look at that it's always a factor. I've in the past, right, because before the last company I was at, I was at a company, I was a senior producer there, and then looking around to kind of see what I was going to do next. And before I got hired as an executive producer and then became chief product officer at the last company, it was one of those things where, you know, you tailor your CV to every job that you're applying for. And then if you're working with recruiters or whatever, they'll help you sort of tailor your CV or prep you for the job if they're good recruiters. And inevitably, there are several iterations on my LinkedIn profile, because that's just such an easy place for people to go and at a glance kind of judge you. Everything from your profile pic all the way through everything. And then when I was done at my last company and was looking around to see, I was really interested in like maybe finding a startup somewhere. I worked with an executive coach, and dude, she spent so much time like giving feedback and stuff on my LinkedIn. So it's like LinkedIn, and then your actual CV, your resume is being tailored to every place you're applying to. You're tailoring, like basically rewriting your CV. And so, but LinkedIn is that sort of consistent one-stop shop that people are going to check out. As an artist, a portfolio is a bigger deal. Again, without sound, I don't want to sound however it may sound, but a lot of times if I've been, you know, a hiring manager, especially once I got into production for essentially every discipline, I was looking at, you know, the hiring part of it. If I saw artists that had like a janky LinkedIn but a tight portfolio, then the only question winds up being like, how is this person professionally? Like, oh man, they're good talent, but how are they professionally? You know, what I found is with a lot of artists, they just, it's not something they necessarily put a big focus on. Technical artists, I've seen more focus on their LinkedIn. But you know, artists I work with are just kind of like, oh, this is some shit that just needs to be up there or whatever. So yeah, Zoidberg, some artists are extremely good with like marketing and marketing themselves and stuff. Like some people, but they're also kind of like that type of artists. And I would say if I was looking at a LinkedIn and it was sloppy and it was an artist, not that big a deal. If I was looking at LinkedIn and it was sloppy and as a programmer, a little bit more sus. If I'm looking at a LinkedIn and they want to be a game designer or they're a game designer and there's like misspellings and punctuation's ass and all that stuff, then it's like, all right, this person's going to be responsible for documentation and writing stuff and communicating clearly. Is this the level of care that they put into their work, right? So for me, it's always been like an at a glance, like, even if somebody's got like challenges, I've known a lot of artists that have dyslexia, and I think it's maybe just the visual brain processing or something. But I would say when you're working on your LinkedIn, when you're working on your CV, if you know it's not your thing, then I would say if somebody's like a real go-getter and somebody's really wanting to like do, like get hired, then I would expect that person to be like, hey man, can you review my shit? And can you improve it for me? Right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like I said, once you're an executive, you wind up paying people for that, right? Like, hey, here's $1,200 to help me fix my shit, right? Like it's just expected. What if a programmer has no LinkedIn? I mean, if they're a solid programmer and the tech folks want to recruit them, then they bring them in. But I'd be curious to see how we even found them. I guess they applied. Like, it's just recruiters and all the people that we've got sourcing folks or whatever in the past. They're going through LinkedIn most of the time. All right, so I'm going to go back and catch some of the comments that I missed. Wizard said, a lot of my friends would love a game like this. Even us kids think modern MMOs are too easy. Yeah, and honestly, people coming out of some other environments, I think, are either they're not going to necessarily know any better if they're aging out of Roblox or whatever, or coming out of like Minecraft Adventures or whatever it's called, or the new D&D Minecraft thing or whatever. I think a lot of people just try it if the buzz is that it's difficult and kind of got some weird features and stuff. So Yo said, I'm 32. EQ is my first MMO at 10 years old. My brother was playing it. It helped me get a good grade in English in school. It's where I began learning English. Still my favorite MMO. Right on. I know a number of people that learned English through EQ. I learned how to type through EQ. Malsyrian, good afternoon. Been rewatching your interviews and started wondering if you ever go back and watch them as inspiration for M&M. There's some stuff that we've like documented, some of our brainstorming. You mean the interviews? I think we did some fun stuff in the past though, where we brainstormed with the community and documented that stuff. I have trouble watching the interviews and VODs and stuff. If I was honestly, I need to stop being this way and just do it. But if I'm going to be streaming as I have been now for a couple years, then I should probably take the time to watch VODs and improve my stream based on all the shit that I look at. I'm like, oh, that's horrible. Stop doing that. Quit saying quit getting sidetracked for half an hour on random stuff. Do more work on a work stream. So those things, but maybe I'll put that on my list to finally do before the end of the year. Kabaum 2015 says, hello, EQ is my favorite old memory since 1999, and now I'm over 50. Right on, and still waiting to jump back and hope to find a place. Oh, find back some taste and feeling I discovered playing from France with US guys on a V92 modem. So many good moments. Can I ask, did you find us? So I tracked back some information about M&M to a French like MMO message board. You didn't happen to find us from that, did you? Kabaum. Do you remember spinning raids looking at the ground to prevent lag? Yes. All clerics. Stare at this corner. Bilbo said, trying to be a better streamer is a slippery slope. Pretty soon it's Sean's hot tub every day. All right, fair. Thank you. You've given me the out that I needed to not actually be better. Delta Loco asks question, is the idea that players will take up residence at camps like they do in EQ? If so, are you designing zones with that in mind, making sure there are somewhat safe places set up, considering, okay, this is a safe spot to set up camp and it would have access to these 3 names, etc. Yeah, so the whole camping gameplay, camping gameplay is something just, honestly, it's a type of gameplay that many of us really enjoy. Like, I love the idea of sitting at a camp somewhere and just chilling out, and the rhythm of pulls and, you know, that steady grind of experience, and oh shit, there's a named, or oh, these guys just wiped or whatever, and that name's up over there, let's pull it, or, you know, just camping as a form of gameplay is really, really, really cool. So yeah, and I'm running over here to like show you camp. Not sure why these guys are piling up there, but so like even in a newbie yard, if you come over in this corner, there's a little camp and there's a named in here. Wow, it looks so much better with all the dead bodies. Oh man, I meant to include a picture of corpses in this month's update. Let me not forget to do that. Let me do that real quick. Let me find screenshots. Go back up. Okay. Download.
Also, thanks a ton for these streams. They're great to watch, and the stress test was also a blast.
Hey, you, wait a second. I'm over here on this other monitor downloading some stuff, and I didn't even see who that is. Delta Loco, thank you for that. I appreciate the bit. Where were we? Or Knocker said, I miss this sense of exploration. Nothing will be like the first time I got into EQ. Nothing can replace that EQ, that first feeling. But we're gonna get you into Eminem, and then you're gonna have your first Eminem moments. You're gonna be like, man, nothing can replace those either. Zoidberg said LinkedIn's a weird place. When I see people that have really good profiles, it feels like a red flag that they're really good at bullshitting. That's the risk you gotta take. BG Effect.
Another month.
Hey, buddy. How are you? I gotta remember to get you all linked into the various things. I gotta get you where the bot has your stream listed. I have to show you on like people to check out or whatever, the link or the Twitch thing. So don't let me forget that. Those of you that don't know, VGFX is on the team as well and is also started streaming. If you join our Eminem Discord, you'll see when all of us are streaming. Like Pattis was streaming and then raided me. And so Zukin streams, VGFX streams, Goblin streams. So Malsirian, yeah, it was, I mean, we got really fortunate with the timing and the drive, like, you know, sometimes people give like Smedley a hard time or whatever, but like Smed and Russ and Brad and Steve and Bill and all those like original EQ folks, man, we got super fortunate that they decided to make what they made. My life completely changed because of that game. So you said it looks better without all the dead bodies in the noob yard. So I went and found some of these screenshots that I took during the playtest. I don't know, man. That looks pretty dope. I've got to add that to the update. Yeah, we definitely found that we needed some hide corpse. Oh man, it's fun. Like for me, I just get excited whenever I look around in game and see like a view for the first time. So I tossed these guys into the bandit or to the grave robber camp over here, and for whatever reason, I guess I've never really looked at this angle. But once this area is all done up nice, it's a really fun sightline here. Lots of fun sightlines so far in the game. All right, so let's see, Paris zone. Can I go there? Ooh, exciting. Ooh. Oh shit, I'm in the zone. I gotta get some new badges made. Like, people are up to... You know, people have gotten... Where are we at? People have got like 36 months subscribed. I don't even know that my badges properly support that. Is that you, Pattis? Oh, Zukin. Oh yeah, Holt, I should have known. I should have known. Usually Pattis is, I think, human. Many of those bodies are yours? Right on. Man, Pattis is already going at it. Nice. Oh. Dude, he does the funky geometry so good. It's funny, before we got all of our wonderful art folks on the team, it was screwing around like I was trying to figure out how to make art in Blender. I spent so much time like screwing with like little bits and cracks and stuff. I was like, oh, all right, we got to do this in the style. And then once we found the guys, it's like, nailed it. Look at these stairs. Exactly. Look at these stairs. Oh no. I'm too big. I'm too big. Oh man. Stayed up to 2 a.m. For the end of the test. Haven't loved playing a game that much in forever. Screw textures and like it was awesome. Biscuit, thank you for that. You can fit in the door on the other side. Okay, thank you. I really got to watch the VOD now, Pattis. I got to watch the VOD and see how hard it is for you to make this kind of stuff. Is it relatively easy, or is it a giant pain in your ass when it comes to... I'm assuming you're just, you know, pulling some verts and stuff. I know Pro Builder is not the best thing to work with, but... So, Pattis, I'm curious. You probably you didn't say like who used to live here or anything, right? I'm gonna assume. Cool. But as I look at the door size, I really do think there's probably going to be easy ways for us to convey that some of the doorways were, you know, they're considered grander despite them being the size they are. You know what I mean? Like I think some of the stuff we were talking about, it'll actually convey pretty well, because we could just imagine they were really, they're, you know, they were really proud, and they had made a cool place for who they were. That's us. That's me talking in as coded a manner as possible. Okay, so I came out here. Oh, there's Zukin. Cool. The tall triangle people is correct. Damn, you guessed it. Coneheads. Are you going to be Pattis, are you also going to be doing the sort of elevation changes and stuff as well? Is that going on over here? Oh, there's a little bit of, yeah, there's some up and down going on. Yeah, no, I'm super excited you've already got this much going, so I've just assumed as I'm looking at it that things will be happening. I'm actually more just curious as your process as somebody that's tried to do this kind of stuff in the past. Yeah, it's already it's moving fast, guys. The ocean. This is like the scene in this is the movie they show you in Soylent Green before they flip the switch on you. Isn't this relaxing? Okay, now we're gonna make you into a wafer. John, you did not miss anything. If you've seen one of my streams, you've seen them all. Why is my posture so bad? The end of the sewer in The Fugitive, didn't it? Yeah, it dumped out like super far above water or something. Wasn't that it? Pattis, I know it's super early. One thing to think about might be a little bit narrower. Trying to think of the reference material without giving away the reference material. Cool. I have this. I noticed whenever I was trying to make stuff before, I was like, I had this tendency to just is a bit bigger. I'll let you guys. You can name as many zones as you want. I'm not going to confirm or deny. Not too chunky. Zukin went full chunk last night and it crashed his computer. Well, shit, now I gotta catch up on that as well. Some of the spots need to open up a bit more. It's having the same issue with the cave at the entrance. Yeah, it's like those pockets where it does open up. But I do think I do think if you're to throw in like some sample objects in here, oops, no. Where am I? Where is my camera? Because I don't want to have to select me. Oh wait, I got gizmos turned off. That's not me. There I am. I would say with this section of the dungeon, erring on the side of smaller won't be a bad idea. Does that look cool now? Oh hell yeah, I'm gonna chop some stuff up. Oh wait. You guys can keep guessing zone. That's fine by me. I mean, at the end of the day, it depends on the purpose. And or you know, kind of what look you're, what is you're actually trying to pull off. But I do think, our tendency is often to err on the side of bigger. It just gets natural to sort of like blow out an area or get bigger or whatever. And the thing that we lose, the thing that what's going to be in that area determines how big it should be. We can't tell you. It's that's secret. We can only allude to things in vague terms. That is the only downside to our open development process. I don't have the ability to draw my own screen at the moment, unfortunately, but I can tell you the feel. And I think there's something to be said about it being a fair bit more claustrophobic. So even if this is like a ledge that's overlooking a thing, I would feel like the ledge would be narrow enough that if I come out, by the time I come through here, I would already be looking on the other side of the ledge kind of thing, right? And so then that, if we're looking at the grid squares, then that's probably like a, for it to feel tighter, it's like a 2.5. Like 2.5 to maybe 3 grid square, like 3 unit. walkway really becomes that thing where it feels like you're up there and you're just immediately overlooking. And if you're at the bottom, when you look up, that also means that when you look up and you see a ledge, you're kind of seeing what's there. And so I could see how if it's meant to be like one of those ledges like the ones that we're looking at, or sort of cutbacks or whatever, it'd be you come out and then it's like boom, and then it may expand a little bit, so there's a little bit of a platform here. But in some of the example platforms, it would be something where even fitting a campfire would be a little tight. Oops, I just grabbed the fire and that was it. Brilliant. So it'd be like a ledge, come out, and then there's enough space for a campfire and a couple mobs kind of thing. It's funny. Hey, Harrison. Something about that path along the ledge is giving me environmental hazard anxiety. Yeah. The other thing too with, it's like rocks falling on your head. The other thing too with some of the ledges as well is if they're narrower, so it's, you know, if it's like this wide, the other thing that we could do as well is cut back in so that it's making this even more sort of claustrophobic, right? Because if it's like this wide and then underneath here, it actually cuts back into, you know, like half a unit or a unit back in. Man, I wish I could draw on this. You can draw in Slack. You can draw on your screen and stuff. It's really handy. But, and then that allows the space under here, you know, basically it's a little bit. And so again, you got kind of like, when you look up, you're in a more claustrophobic ravine, and the overhang, yeah, the overhang there is, you know, there could be something above there. There's just that sense of it just being a lot more. I guess I can stop beating around the bush because you may have actually already used a reference in your VOD now that I think about, or in your VOD. So the difference between a place like Gorge, you know, Gorge of the Beholder, Gorge of King's Orb, that place had very tall walls and very wide passages. So it was more like this, whereas High Pass was narrower and the walls were not as tall. So it almost felt like you were at an elevation where because the walls weren't as tall, it makes me think that I'm actually almost up there. So the shorter walls actually made me feel more elevated in general. Like I was moving at a higher elevation because the actual walls are shorter. Whereas when you're in the gorge, the walls are really, really tall and the lanes are very wide. And so that made me feel like I'm down. So tall walls, down, short walls, up. Because I'm almost there. I'm almost as high as the walls, right? And yeah, it works with the name and all sorts of shit, right? So, but the narrowness will be a thing that I think we've got to consider here. And then as it opens up, it can be as wide as this, open up, because then we're getting more sight lines, and then we can, you know, probably a bit wider means more sight lines, fewer dog legs and stuff. Horse knocker. Yep, exactly. But it was clever. So if you look at the names, but then you look at what they did there, I feel like that was probably intentional, because the name worked with the approach. But yeah, Pattis, this is badass. I'm amazed you've already got so much in here. It's really cool. But definitely think it should be more claustrophobic in the ravines. Or it's not. I had to guess. If I had to guess, the name came first on that one. Like these areas passing through here. Even though this winds up being wide as well, but like these areas passing through here, I would just use this as almost like the uniform scale. So that everything kind of has, you know, this kind of tightness, but these being, you know, these being indoors essentially, or in through the thing is, the other challenge too, I think, is if we do too much, like too many long stretches that are completely covered, then it definitely will, if it's later in the zone where there's the architecture and stuff, it makes sense. If it's earlier in the zone, I think the more that things are open on the top, but you pass through little stuff, then it feels like you're in a more organic environment. Whereas if it's mostly like this, then I'm either in architecture or I'm in a cave system. Which all of that, like architecture and cave system, would be deeper in the zone. Or Zakher said, and then if this is meant to be rocky, have outcroppings, rock falls, etc. Make interesting terrain. Yep. Oh man, I'm excited. In a small cave to lead to the ledge above. Okay. Oh shit, guys. I just realized we're creeping up on our time. It is 9:52. Is anybody else on the stream, anybody else on the team streaming? I gotta get some sleep. I'm actually gonna go train tomorrow. Nope. Nope. I say I'm about to go to bed, and then I see this candy sitting over there. Goblin, if you start your stream, I will, I'll jump over to you. Yeah, Jasmine brought these in and dropped them off earlier. I probably shouldn't eat them right at the end of the stream before bed. Damn. If anybody remembers the giant bag of candy that I bought for the, it was actually like 5 different bags of Haribo gummies that I bought for the stress test. Dude, we plowed through that way too quick. You'll send me a 5-pound bag of sugar-free gummy bears? Won't that make me, like, poop myself to death? Goblin's gonna do a silent stream. All right, let me know when your silent stream is up, Goblin. Bill said I survived it. Oh man. Depends on how much you eat. You're up. Okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap up here. It is 10 p.m. coming up on 10 p.m. my time. But I appreciate everybody being here. I'll be back tomorrow night. And it's possible that I can stream a little bit longer tomorrow night because I don't have to go try to do anything athletic on Friday. So appreciate everybody being here. Please join our Discord if you haven't already. I'm going to raid Goblin if you want to see some wonderful concept art. I'm assuming that he'll be doing concept art. Yeah, I'm gonna raid him like in a minute after I say goodbye to you guys. Karados or Horse Knocker is really super cool to see you. Come back, hang out with us. It's really nice to see some TTE folk. But yeah. Who else saying goodbye? Rev, see you, buddy. Wizard, see ya. Thanks for being here. Biscuit, that does not sound fun. Mehmet Rice, see you. See you, John. Esan, see you, buddy. We appreciate you as well. Onichan, you have a good one as well. Chaz Solo, goodbye. Zukin, see you. Yo, bye. Quixana, take care. Encrypt 128, goodbye. Liz Biscuits, see you. Liz Biscuit. Bilbo, goodbye. Bye, Terran. What's going on? All right. All right, guys. Let's kick off this raid nonsense. And later, Pattis. I'm raiding. Just show me Goblin, man. Come on, raid channel picker. Why are you making it so hard for me to find Goblin? Why can't I find you, Goblin? Because of the damn the. It's because of the. Alright, we're actually doing this now. Pfft, there we are. Alright, let's do this. Oh, I see some Ashiras. Starting the raid now. Starting the raid now. Alright, raiding now. I'll see you guys tomorrow.